Good afternoon. So glad you made it out in the rain. I think I know most of you. I'm Pastor Lori, and I'm so grateful that we get to have these gatherings monthly, typically, so that we can learn things about senior well-being that help all of us. There will not be a meeting in December, but you may have picked up this beautiful flyer. We have a 4-week series coming in January about the arts and arts and aging. I don't know if that's really fair. It's not just that. It's health, the arts and health. But I'm very interested in going and plan to be there. So I'd love to open us in prayer, and then I will introduce our guest for today. So let us pray. We are grateful, O God, for the rain, and we're grateful for safe travel and for opportunities like this where we can learn together things that will help us to improve our health and our connections. And we are grateful for the people that so willingly share of their gifts to help us on this journey. So bless our time together in Christ's name. Amen. So Kelly Ward is the Fall Prevention Coordinator at the Florida Department of Sarasota County, Department of Health. She has her master's degree in therapeutic aging and has been studying aging, balance, and fall prevention for almost 20 years. Oh my gosh. She's known as the Fall Prevention Lady and is passionate about teaching all of us how not to fall down. So please help me welcome Kelly Ward.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay, because I am sort of loud. This is on just for the video purposes. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Kelly, and like she said, I'm Fall Prevention Coordinator with the Department of Health. This is a brand new position, and it was created because our director realizes the seriousness of falls. Falls among older adults have been a problem for years and years and years. My first exposure was when I was a personal fitness trainer. I was getting my master's certificate in gerontology. I was out in California, and I was doing an internship with the Area 4 Agency on Aging over there. And they said, we want you to do a seated exercise program for fall prevention. And I said, what? Don't you have to be standing to fall? No, there's a lot of people falling out of chairs, more than you know. So once I did some research, I was sold. I just knew that was something that I really wanted to do. And so I dove in head first and took every class, and I've taught a lot. I've designed a lot of programs. So been speaking for, 10 years. I've written 2 books, so both on fall prevention. So there's a lot to say about it, and I'm looking forward to sharing, talking with you today. Okay, so let's get started. True or false? Falls are a normal part of the aging process. That's a tough question. Why do you say, sir? Why is that a tough question?
Nobody knows why they fall, really. Most times after it occurs, they couldn't even tell you exactly how it happened.
Right. That's right. That's definitely true. So, but falling there's something going on underneath or in your environment that causes you to fall. Falls are not just a part of going on. Yeah, we stumble and trip every once in a while, but when you start falling regularly, or like you say, you were here and then all of a sudden you don't know what happened, something is going on underneath. So what we really need to do is address the underlying factors. Okay, so what I'd like to know right now is how many people in here have slipped, tripped, or fallen? Now, a fall is unintentionally coming to rest at a surface lower than you started. So it's not falling in love, it's not that, it's coming to a lower surface. That is the official definition of a fall. So again, one more time, let's see. Okay, so quite a few people have fallen. You look around, you can see you're definitely not the only ones. Now, out of those people who fell, how many people went to the emergency room? 3 people. 3 people. So there's probably about eight or nine who fell, and only 3 people went to the emergency room. So what that says is that the Center for Disease Control, CDC, estimates that 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 will fall each year, and that 1 out of 2 people over the age of 85 will. So the older we get, the higher, the greater the risk. Now, that's 1 in 4. Now, I just showed you, we had 3 people that went to the emergency room, and a lot more people fell. So what I'm just trying to say is, I think these numbers are grossly underestimated. There's a lot more people falling, and we just don't go to the doctor. Maybe we didn't think that it was severe enough. Maybe you're embarrassed. You know, you don't want to tell anybody you fell. There's a lot of reasons why people don't go to the doctor afterwards. But here are some facts about falls. So I'm not here to scare you, but these are just some regular factors about falling. 1 in 5 people who fall are seriously injured and will require some type of assistance in their daily life for the remainder of their life. So it really affects that independence, okay? In 2020, the average cost of a fall was $30,000. So that's from the time you fall, your ambulance ride, to the hospital, to your OT, PT sessions at home, about $30,000. And that cost, about half that cost is covered by Medicaid and Medicare. And other costs are passed on to the taxpayer and to private insurance. So in 2020, CDC estimates that over 17% of the population is over the age of 65. And you know that the aging of baby boomers, that number is exploding. That demographic is exploding. So by 2030, they say 22% of the population will be over 65. Consider that 10,000 people turn 65 every day. It's a lot. That's a lot of people getting their AARP card. Okay? Now, the fastest growing segment is anybody over the age of 85. So now we have the young old, we have the old, and we have the old. Okay? So this is just the way that they've broken it down, because people, you can't say, oh, over 65, they're all the same. No way, Jose. You know, that we have different levels, abilities, everything. So the different demographics, young, old. There is good news about being in the old. Okay, so here's some local facts. So that was at the national level. I want to talk to you about what's going on here in Florida. So we rank 3rd in the United States with the number of older adults who've fallen down behind California and Texas, respectively. That's a lot. We have a lot of falls because you consider how big those states are, how population-wise. In 2021, over 21% of Floridians were over the age of 65, and just like in the national statistics, people over the age of 85 are 4 more times likely to die from a fall. So our numbers are reflecting that as well here in Sarasota County. 24.2 of those older adults reported falling in the past 12 months, okay? And in Sarasota County, 37.2 of adults over 85 visited the emergency room. So there's a lot of people in here who did not go to the emergency room, but have taken a fall. But that places Sarasota County 4th in the state for the number of hospitalizations due to falls. So we're pretty high up there. So that's why we at the Department of Health have really come together. It's a team effort to collaborate with local agencies and get the message out there that falls can be prevented, and start working at local levels, at churches, you know, at Parks and Recreation. We're going to be really out there giving a lot of presentations just to educate people. So this is an interesting fact. It says that less than half of older adults who fall talk to their doctor about falling. Can you maybe give me some reasons why you think that people who fall, they might not go and talk to their doctor? There's no right or wrong answer. Absolutely no right or wrong answer. So,
Having just fallen last week, by the time I finally get to a doctor, the fall isn't going to be anything that I even think about talking to them about.
okay. So it really didn't concern you too much. Just okay. All right. Of course, that's a reason. You don't think that it's very serious. Okay. Did you, looking back over the fall, could you see maybe what caused you to fall?
Oh, it was very obvious.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's called a bump into the sidewalk.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to know, talking to your doctor gives you the opportunity maybe to identify what's going on. So it's a good idea. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I would say that doctors don't always ask deeper questions,
Right.
but you kind of start to get treated differently if you admit to a fall when you go to the doctor. And so they assume, oh, now you're old, oh, you're going to fall, oh, you have to limit yourself because of that.
Okay.
Instead of looking at why you fell.
Okay, so they identify you as a fall risk now. Yeah, and that's a label that you feel that you put on. Okay, all right. Yes, ma'am? Did you have something to say? I thought you raised your hand. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of reasons. How about a fear that the doctor's gonna put you in a home? You know, does anybody think about that? That the doctor's gonna try to limit your independence? Okay, you're shaking your head. No, I'm glad to see that because for most part, doctors are on our side. They want us to stay at the homes, but you know, at some point there becomes there's a point where you become a risk to your own safety, and so something needs to be done then. Nobody likes to admit that, but that's really sometimes what happens. Okay, but I'm just not the bearer of bad news. All these dreaded statistics. I have good news too, and that is that it's estimated that over half of all falls can be prevented through education, early detection, and exercise. All right, so what I mean by talking about education is learning about things that increase the likelihood of a fall. Now, I can't say that we can prevent all falls because, like he said, falls are accidents. Nobody intends on doing it. But there are ways that you can make yourself safer, especially as we get older. We need to start making safer choices, okay? Now, early detection, balance is really a very intricate messenger system between your muscles and your senses. So I'm talking, can you name some of the senses that we have? What are some of the senses? Smell, touch, taste. Right. So eyes, number one input to the brain. Number one input to your brain. Okay, and second, right behind it is your vestibular system. That's your inner ear, and that's your neural balancing system. So finding out, getting your regular eye exams, absolutely essential. You know, we really need to do that. If you're starting, has anybody in here had vertigo ever? Okay, well, you don't know if you're spinning or the world is spinning. It's a very frightening thing, and that's something going on in your canals or your otoliths. We have a really neat system in there that is all it's concerned about is which end is up and which way am I going. That's the only thing it wants to know. And one of the inputs to that gets off, and you feel like you're spinning like this. You don't know which way you're going. So when you start saying, wow, every time I turn my head to the right, I'm getting dizzy, go to the doctor. Go to your vestibular specialist. Something's definitely going on. Because you know your body better than anybody. And then lastly, exercise. Exercise is, you know, how many people in here like to exercise? Wow, okay. Times are changing. Times are changing. I love it. Yeah. Some people, nope, not so much, but it is staying active, let's just call it that, is the best way to reduce your risk of a fall. Okay? It doesn't have to be Olympic level, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to do some exercises today, too. So, as I said, with the Department of Health, and Sue was with Sarasota County Aging. She's the aging coordinator. Say hi, Sue. Sue Berger. And we're working closely together. The state of Florida we have community health improvement plans. These are 5-year plans. And one of the number one things is get out there, do these presentations, teach classes, evidence-based classes, get the numbers down, people going to the emergency room. All right, so help people age in place. And then at the county level, they're doing the same thing. They just have different numbers than we do. But we are working together as a team, along with the Age-Friendly Sarasota Action Plan, to really get out there and reduce the number of people falling and going to the hospital. Really we want to keep people safe in their homes for as long as possible, because that is the goal, right? Age in place. Exactly. Okay, let's talk fall risk factors. These are things that increase the likelihood of you having a fall. All right, and there's 3 types. So if you're taking notes, feel free to take notes. If you'd like a copy of this PowerPoint, I can send it to you. Okay, so the first type of fall risk factor is external. So these are things going on outside of your body, all right? And you usually have control over those, all right? Second type is internal. These are things going on inside of your body. Remember, early detection, things just aren't quite right. And then behavioral, it's what you're doing. Your doctor says you need a walker and you go home and you use it for a coat rack. That's not the behavior. Yeah. It's not the behavior that's going to stop a fall. Okay, I'm going to go back real quick. Can anybody tell me external fall risk factors? Think about things in your home. Yes, ma'am. Lighting. Yes. Number 1 input to the brain is your eyes. What else?
Scatter rugs.
Yes, scatter rugs, throw rugs.
Uneven surfaces.
Uneven surfaces. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Messy housekeeping.
It's clutter. Yeah, absolutely. Clutter. Totally. Because what do when you come home? They want to rub up all around your feet, and you're like trying to. I have a little Chihuahua, but she's not lovey like that. I'm okay. Anything else at your home? So it sounds like you're pretty well educated on external things. This is when you go to a health fair or an expo, you're going to hear about these external things. And like I mentioned, you have some control over them. Home hazards, definitely. If you weigh more than a towel, your towel rack is not a grab bar. Okay? They can pull out of the wall pretty easily, so you want to make sure that you have a professionally installed grab bar, not the one with the suction cups, because they work 50% of the time, and you don't know every time you're pulling the. You mind passing this out for me? So I want to take just a little minute and talk about proper footwear, because people, more and more people are saying, hey, what you have on your feet really can increase your risk of a fall. You got to have good shoes. So I am a master trainer in another evidence-based program called Stepping On, and they have this 4 components of a good shoe. So what I want you to do is you can look at your feet right now and say, do you think that's a good shoe? Let's see. I'm not going to pick anybody out. I swear I'm not going to pick anybody out. I swear. Oh, she knew I was coming back here saying. Okay. All right. Looks good. Oh, my ladies at the sneakies. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So, okay. On the one side, we have all the components of a good shoe. So, you don't want your toes squeezed in there. You want your foot in there. It's snug at the heel for a good fit. You can't wiggle the toes too much. Good support, firm arch. The sole should be flexible. These shoes, I can curl them right up into a little ball. These are called LEMS, L-E-M-S. They're minimalist shoes. I do recommend them. They're very comfortable, but everybody has different needs for their feet. You want a shoe that covers most of your foot, and you want it lightweight, so no really heavy, stiff shoes. Does anybody, SAS, has anybody heard of SAS shoes? Do you like those? Yes. Okay. All right. You don't think they're stiff? Can you bend your foot in them pretty good? Do you have them on now?
No, I don't. I have a walkie.
Okay, okay. But SASH, I've heard they really can be pretty stiff, and they don't allow your intrinsic foot muscles to really feel the ground underneath your feet. When you have a real high heel or a real thick sole, you can't feel the ground underneath your feet. And you say, what difference does that make? Well, you can't tell when it's uneven. So you don't know when it's soft or when it's hard or when it's slick because you're not getting any input from the receptors underneath in your feet, okay? And we have receptors everywhere. How about heels, a good heel? Who used to wear stilettos? I want to know who used to wear those. I'm 6 foot tall. I've never been able to wear those things in my life. No, those days are out. We don't go for fashion anymore. We go for function. And that was, I had some ladies in my class that were like, I love my shoes. And they were very dangerous shoes to wear. But it becomes function over fashion. So just think, do I want to stay safe? Now what I want you to do is I want you to look on the back. I want you to tell me what you think about those flip-flops. Do you think that they're a fall risk? Oh, yes. Okay, why do you say that?
The front can get caught under things so easily.
Mm-hmm.
The toe post can pull out and you become fall on your face and, yeah.
Yeah, flip-flops. Just remember this. If it slips on, it can slip off. So when you're walking, your feet are grabbing the flip-flop. And so it actually makes it harder for you to pick your foot up and do a nice stride. So I love my flip-flops too, but I've almost tripped on the front of them several times. I'm like, these are done. These are done. So just be careful with them. They have some really good ones now. You have some nice shoes, nice little sandals there. Okay, how about those sneakers? What do you think about the sneakers to the right, the Converse? No support. Worn out. That's it. She's exactly right. I say your shoes are like your tires. They need to be changed every 3,000 miles. Okay? So if you're still wearing the same tires, the same treads that you had in 1980, let's get a new pair. So really slippery soles, so they're obviously a fall risk hazard. Okay, how about the ones in the lower right? What do you think about those? They're good. They're pretty good. Does anybody have a brand that they like? I noticed my ladies back there have some sneaks on. What do you wear? Skechers. Okay, I've heard real good things about Skechers. Do you have a favorite brand? New Balance. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, can you see what that lower right picture is? No. Oh, okay. So it's a high heel. Yes. It's the back of the shoe. So it's a thin heel. I'm not saying don't ever wear high heels, but make them chunky, make them thick, at least 2 inches, so you're not like walking on stilts. Okay. So keep this. Go home. Do a shoe inventory in your apartment or your closet, and donate the dangerous ones, or just remember how good they used to be. Okay, external hazards, of course. Okay, eyeglasses, having incorrect eyeglasses. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit more. Progressive lenses and bifocals. Who wears bifocals for reading? Or what do you wear the bifocals for? Okay, all right. Because sometimes it's better to have a pair of glasses just for reading and then a pair of glasses for walking and when you're out doing things like that. Because the different lenses can really complicate your depth perception. So your feet can't really, your eyes can't determine how far something is. So you might think the step is way out here when it's really right here. So again, talk with your eye doctor and make sure you're thinking, maybe I just should wear my readers when I'm reading, okay, and not when walking around. And then of course, Pat mentioned pets. I wouldn't have a job if I told everybody to get rid of their pet. But what is a way that you can keep your pet and not be worried about falling over? And what's a way you can do that? Training, absolutely. About
I'm not a pet owner, but putting them in their cage.
okay, absolutely. Crate them. No, I know. Crate, no, that's fine. That's fine. Mine need to be crated a little bit more often than they are. And then some a bell around on their collar, so you can hear them coming. All right, or at least something. So you know you're aware of where they are because they will get wrapped up in your feet. Okay, let's talk about internal
That's a little fuzzy.
fall risk factors. Any ideas, Pat?
Yeah, it will come back. We had that earlier.
Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. Internal fall risk factors. So let's just talk about this. So your medical conditions. Okay. I was teaching a class how to get up from the floor. So I teach class how to get up from the floor. And this lady came in and she just went to sat down and fell right on the floor. And I ended up being one of my favorite people in this world. So, but what an entrance. So anyway, that made me think of that. Okay, so medical conditions. So if you have medical conditions, which most of us have, what's the doctor going to do? Put you on a medication. All right, so medication management is a behavioral thing. That's a little bit more, but who in here is taking more than 5 medicines? Okay, that's identified as a fall risk right away because it's very stressful on your body. Okay, so cognitive impairment is another internal fall risk factor because, dementia and things like that going on. You don't remember what the consequence is if you don't react. So, although I do mention that I've worked with several people with dementia, and it's just natural reflexes. That's all we're trying to do is test your reflexes and your reaction time. So keeping the brain sharp and moving quickly. Advanced age is an internal fall risk factor just by the sheer fact that as we get older, things slow down a little bit. That's all we're saying. Body type and body gender. So do you think women or men are at higher risk of falling? Women. Men fall harder because they're usually on ladders and on roofs and changing lights, and we're just walking around and trip or something. But so it's small, thin, frail Asians, and I hate to be like that, but that is the type because that's the culture that is more likely to fall. So when you're really thin and frail, you're more likely to have osteoporosis. Okay, history of falls. If you've fallen a lot, there's something going on. So has anybody had more than 4 falls in the past year? More than 4? Okay. All right. Well, I see you're with a walker, so I'm glad. Because there's something going on. Just think about it. It might not be you. It might be somebody you love, your neighbor or something. But if they're really starting to fall, something's going on. There's a host of things that could be going on. And the quicker you figure out what it is, the quicker you can get them worked on, helped. Now, I'm going to mention mental health because I was just here for a fabulous series, a speaker series. We are what we think. And Diane talked about that. She's just wonderful. But we really become what we think about. So there's something called a fear of falling in your mental health. And when you fall, you become so afraid of falling again that that's all you can think about. Yeah, tense, everything. You're on edge. You don't know what's coming up. You start limiting your behaviors, everything like that. So what you're thinking, do you see yourself as confident? Or you think, wow, okay, I can react. I'm doing pretty good. I can adapt to things. Or do you think that this is aging, it's just awful, I'm a victim, this is terrible, So it's really the perspective that you look at it. And one thing, and I say this in the church, is being very grateful to God every day that, we're still getting up and about. Okay, always find the good. All right. This is aging, muscles, and senses. This is something I came up with when I was doing my graduate studies, and I was studying fall proof. And that is a balance mobility program, one of the best in the country. And Dr. Rose really explained how the muscles and the senses work together to help with our balance. So muscle weakness. How many people in here are as strong as you used to be when you were 30? Okay, right, exactly. And that's because there's a process called sarcopenia, all right? It's a big word. All it means is that we're losing muscle mass as we get older, all right? So when we're in our 30s, we start losing muscle mass at 5% per decade, okay? When you reach your 60s, you start losing muscle mass at a rate of 20% per decade. So unless you start really lifting and doing resistance training, by the time you reach your 80s, you're going to start losing muscle mass at 50% per decade. So that's a lot. So if we're just going to sit by and let life go past us, then it's going to affect us. You think about a hospital stay for 2 weeks when you're 30 versus when you're 80. So just think about that muscle loss and how it can really affect your ability to function. And the number one risk of falling is lower body weakness. I just want to make that clear. Your legs are your fall prevention muscles. So we really need to make sure we're keeping those legs nice and strong. Okay, so I had mentioned that balance is just a intricate messenger system between your muscles and your senses. So what I wanted to talk to you, I also am a brain-based practitioner. I study a lot of the brain and things like that. So your brain gets input about everything. It's bombarded where it is in space, everything. And the number one input to the brain is your eyes. Okay. So can you tell me some diseases that happen later in life that affect your vision? Cataracts? Parkinson's. Yes, sir. Okay. Macular degeneration. Glaucoma. Okay. There's another one. Yes. Okay. Dry eye. Absolutely. Yep. That's a very common one too. How about diabetic retinopathy? So when you have diabetes, it doesn't just affect your hands and your feet, it affects your eyes too. So our eyes are very important. We're a very vision-dependent society. So when this system is going bad, you really need to learn how to rely on your other two. So your inner ear, and there's ways to train these things. And knowing where your body is in space at all times is absolutely essential. So your brain listens first to the eyes, then it goes to the ears. And I just say ears because it's the inner ear system, the vestibular system, that tells you which end is up and which way are you going. So again, I had briefly touched on that, and I just want you to know that if you're starting to feel dizzy when you get up, not so much quickly like the orthostatic hypertension, but turning, then something's going on. You have a canal that might just need a little bit more activation. And when I say feet, your third sensory system is your feet. And this is the neural hierarchy. So your brain goes eyes, inner ear, and then it goes sensory receptors. And we have billions of them. What's the biggest organ what's our biggest organ? Skin. Skin, right. And we have billions and billions of receptors that are constantly giving your brain input about how much pressure is underneath your toes, when it's hot, when it's cold, so you know when you need to react. What disease affects your feet as we get older? Diabetes. What's the side effect of diabetes? Neuropathy. Neuropathy means you can't feel the pressure underneath your feet very well. They start to tingle. They burn. They go numb. I can't even tell you how many people I've talked to, and they're like, "Isn't that a part of getting older?" I'm like, "No, something's going on." I mean, a lot of people think it's just natural that happens. So really being educated and go, "Oh, wow, okay, I haven't felt my feet in, 2 years." Yeah. This is the way the brain goes. If you can't feel it, it's hard to move it. All right. So one of the biggest senses that we have is sensory. It's touch. So rub your feet. Ladies, go get the pedicures. Men, you do too. But really pay attention to your feet. Really rub the feet. They feel good. It helps your brain know what's down there. If you don't ever feel them, we can forget. Your brain can forget, just like anything else. All right, so we got muscle weakness and we got sensory decline. And it doesn't sound very good. That's not a very good combination, is it? Okay, so what we need to think about, it slows your reaction time. So they estimate that this whole process, the sensory come up here to the brain has to figure out what's going on and then send a response, has to happen quicker than a quarter of a second or you'll fall down. That's pretty quick, right? So if you've ever fallen and you're like, I don't know what happened, don't beat yourself up about it, because that's really quick. Things need to be working at top speed, and you need to just practice moving so your brain knows your body. I mean, I know that sounds almost too simple, but you just got to keep moving and doing complex. Your brain loves novelty, so doing new things too. All right, so lastly, we're going to talk about behavioral fall risk factors, so the things that we do. So exercise. Doesn't have to be Olympic level, but it does need to be consistent. Medication management. You need to know how each medication affects you, so you can plan your day accordingly. Say, you know that when you take your blood pressure pill, you get dizzy, okay? What are you not going to do after you take your blood pressure pill? Drive, get up, clean the house. I mean, sometimes we need to make plans, differently. Like, I need to take a nap after I take that medication. Just something, you know your body better than anything. And when the doctor gives you a new medication, make sure you are aware how it makes you feel, okay? Number 3, the proper use of assistive devices. So they are not towel racks, okay? There's a way to use them. We need to respect our body's limitation. We have one body to get us through this life, all right? A lot of us are becoming bionic in some ways. Like, we replace this, and we'll replace this. But you have one body, and you need to just really love it, because it's gotten you this far, and it's not done with you yet, all right? And then one task at a time, multitask. Stand up and then turn to get out of the room. Don't be turning as you stand up, because really, all balance is keeping your belly button over your feet, okay? So if your belly button's over here and your feet are facing this way, that looks like a fall, all right? So I have some training to help with that. I want to introduce a matter of balance. Again, this is a program that the Department of Health in Sarasota County we're really promoting right now. It's a very entry-level class, but again, it's free. Price is right. No, it's good. It's a good program. It's a great program. Great intro program. It has exercises that we do starting week 3, and it's a good way to work exercise back into your life. Who took some time off after COVID? Didn't maybe work out. Maybe you quit working out, doing your regular things after COVID, right? I mean, right here, yeah. So really affected my life. But now it's like, okay, Kelly, COVID's over. Get back to the gym. But you just need to start moving. We just need to start moving regularly. So a matter of balance, the class meets for 2 hours, once a week, for 8 weeks. So we have 8 sessions. It's free. And the primary goal is really to increase your balance confidence, offer practical strategies to reduce your fear of falling, set realistic goals for increasing activity, and help you make changes in your home environment to make you safer. Okay. And so, okay, well, all right, we're offering this program. How do you know if it's for you? Have you been screened or identified as a fall risk? Right? No, you don't need that screening. This does not require a doctor's order, a doctor's note, an assessment or anything. It's just up to you. Have you fallen 2 or more times this year? If you have, you might want to think about just coming in, learning what might be causing your falls. Are you concerned about falling? Who's concerned about here? Everybody's hand should go up. Absolutely, everybody's concerned about it. And a little bit of concern is healthy, because it makes you pay attention and move safely through life. But who in here is afraid of falling? Yeah, absolutely. Where you start to limit your activities of daily living because of it, or you're modifying your schedule because of it. That's who this is really for, to really help you learn how to think differently about falls and yourself. Because this fear of falling, this is the cycle, okay? And it's got its own name now, okay? It's called basophobia, all right? Basophobia. This is how prevalent fear of falling is now, has its own name. Okay, when I started studying fall prevention 20 years ago, there was no basophobia. But now we have a name for this. You take a fall, you're afraid of falling again, so you think, just maybe I shouldn't go exercise, or that sidewalk's uneven. So you start reducing your activity. Well, the less that we do, the weaker we become. Let's use it or lose it. We can't help that. You start to imbalance your gait. You can't pick up your toes as much because your ankles are getting stiff, and that increases your risk of a fall, and it's an endless cycle. All right, so that's basophobia. I love that. Didn't have that when I was growing up. Okay. Now, just again, matter balance. This is what it looks like. First 2 weeks, we talk about concerns and beliefs about falls. And the power of thought. Exercise session 3, we start moving. And then you move for the rest of the sessions. 4 and 5, you're talking about risk factors and barriers to change. And we show you how to get up if you should fall. It's a homework that I recommend if you have somebody nearby. Especially don't do it if you live home. I mean, your safety is always my primary concern. 6 and 7, we focus on home safety and some bad habits that you might want to change. And session 8 is problem solving, evaluation, and celebration. So you have to come to at least 5 of the sessions to get your certificate of diploma, oh, you're done. You graduated. Okay, so are we ready to warm up? Okay, all talk, let's get the blood pumping a little bit. So what I want to do is first, who in here is concerned about your posture? Who's like, I feel like I'm doing this a little bit more. Okay, so like I mentioned, all balance is keeping the belly button over your feet, all right? So I've been teaching classes for 20 years, and I've seen some seniors come walking in like this because they don't, they're working on that posture. So their shoulders are back here, belly button comes walking in 3 minutes before they do. All right, so if you're standing like this, where do you think you're going to lose your balance? Boom. Right. Okay? All right, then there's other people that, due to poor vision, and there's so many things that contribute to poor posture, sensory-wise. Your brain doesn't feel very safe. So we start to get like this. All right, so belly button's way back here. I left it in the garage, right? So where do you think you're going to fall this time? You're more at risk of falling forward. So the key is knowing where your belly button is in relation to the rest of your body. And so what I like to call it, and I want you to work on this, and I will send a step-by-step to Pat, is lengthened spine. Lengthened spine. So as you're sitting there, I want you to pretend, both feet on the floor, I want you to envision that you have a string on the back of your head pulling the back of your head up to the ceiling. Try to create as much space as you can between each vertebrae. Each vertebrae, really lengthen that spine. Okay, so then you say, boy, look how much taller everybody got. This is great. Hey, you too. Hey, you too. You got to do this too. Okay, yeah, there you go. That's right, lengthen that spine. So what you do then is you're going to drop your chin slightly down. Okay, remember we have different canals, vestibular canals. And if you're constantly back here, you're overacting these. I'm not going to go any deeper than that, but I'm going to say start, because your eyes are focused on the horizon. And if you're constantly looking at it like this, you're causing a fall risk. Now, okay, so we're going to drop it down here. I like to say about 30 degrees if you were to look at it from the side. You know what I mean? So you're down. Now, I know, ladies, you're not going to like this, but now we got to tuck it back. Oh my God, now I've got double chin. But now your spine, and lengthen your spine. All right, so head is down, chin is back. Your eye sockets are behind your collarbone. Can you get your head? Yeah, and lengthen that spine, but keep the chin down. Doing a fantastic job. All right, so this is lengthened spine. Your ears are over your shoulders. Shoulders are over your hips. Okay, so you're nice and tall. You ready? Can you turn your head? Just kidding. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna work on some deep breathing because your brain needs two things to get you through this life. It needs fuel, all right? The fuel your brain likes is oxygen and glucose, okay? So don't shame me for drinking that soda coming in here. All right, so we're gonna warm up. We're gonna do some deep belly breathing. All right, so go ahead. You're sitting there nice in your tall, lengthened spine. All right, want to put your hands on your belly, All right, and what I want you to do is when you breathe in through your nose, I want you to push your belly out into a Buddha belly. All right, so go, and then, all right, so inhale, belly goes out. Push that, yeah, see, we do it all wrong. And then exhale. So in through the nose into a deep Buddha belly. And this is something you might want to try at home when you can relax, you lay down, you do your nice deep breathing. So in through the nose for 4. Now you're going to go out through the mouth for 8.
And your tongue should be at the top of your mouth when you breathe.
Hey, how did you know I was going to say that? How did you know? Thanks for reminding me. Absolutely, it's called your tongue in the spot. All right, so we got the deep breathing. Let's do it about 3 or 4 times. So go in through the nose for 4. Push that belly out, and then exhale for 8. I mean, wheeze to get the 8. Because what happens, we are shallow breathers. We are taking in mouth breaths in, and we're over oxygenating. So we don't need to do that. So we need to in through the nose. Okay, this is very good for a nice warm up. All right, now good morning stretch. You're gonna put your arms out like this. Don't knock your neighbor, watch your neighbor. Okay, you're gonna put your arms out to the side. You're gonna inhale, push those arms back even further, and then exhale, turn a little bit to the right. Okay, come on back into center. Let's inhale. And then exhale as you turn to the to the left. All right, and then just one more time.
Back here, if you're too tight and you need some more space.
Yeah, space out, give yourself some space. These are really good ways to start your day. So you inhale, and then you go a little bit further. Really push those arms out when you breathe, and then so the breathing is very key. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't know how to breathe for a long time. So you inhale, and then you're going to exhale as you're rotating. And then inhale back to center. So get a nice morning stretch. All right? Shoulder rolls. All right? So I need to say this. 90% of what we do every day is habitual. So we are walking through this life on autopilot. Do wrist circles. No, you're going to start really paying attention, because the more you pay attention to your body, the more your brain goes, oh, I remember that. You can rub it first if you want to. Let's do some shoulder rolls. All right, so let's just go up, back, down, forward. Up, back, down, forward. Up, back, down, forward. Now, opposite direction. Back, up, forward, down. Ooh. Back, up, forward, down. We carry so much tension up here. We carry so much tension in here that those muscles are just stressed the heck out. So what we need to do is, I like those big and chunky, right? So big and chunky. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Then you go front, back, back, front, back. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get front and back. All right, now I want you to smooth it out. Now we're going to smooth it out. So your shoulders should just be moving. And then you can just do one. You can just do one. You try to keep the other one totally still. I'm telling you, the more you pay attention and do these in both directions. So just think 3 circles in both directions. 2 at a time, 1 at a time. the other one at a time, and then 2 at a time. That's a workout right there. And you're getting and your brain's going, oh, I remember these, I remember you. All right, so we're gonna do diagonal press across the body. So you're just kind of pressing. So we're going cross body. So Parkinson's, very good that we go cross body. And so you're just reaching. All right, so you're nice and tall. Keep your lengthened spine as you're doing this. Really breathe. So exhale on when you're exerting effort. So like you're pushing, E. Think E. So I'm gonna exhale, so whenever you're pressing. So these can be really good. Cross your body. You can go cross high. Okay. Yeah. Cross that body high. You can go cross body low. All right, and then back in the middle. There's just really things that you can do. And the more, like if you have things that you can actually visualize that you're reaching for, huge for the brain connection, eye-hand coordination. So let's do some, these are my favorite, foot circles. Now this is where we all tune out and let the autopilot take over. So I've come up with a new way to do your foot circles. All right, so let's go ahead, get into lengthened spine, sit your butt all the way back there, tailbone. Where's your tailbone facing right now? Back? Down at the floor? Can you tilt your tailbone so it's kind of pointing towards your front toes? Okay, that's good, that's even better. Now lengthen that spine up. All right, you're gonna extend your right leg. Now, I want you to draw 3 circles. Now I want you to take 5 seconds for each circle, nice and slow. Now, is there an area of that circle where it goes, it's jaggy, it's kind of ratchety? Because your brain isn't real certain about it. Now, pause. Let's do, I broke that foot, okay? No, it's ratchety. My foot doesn't remember it, so you go nice and slow. See? Look at mine shaking like that. What are you laughing at? All right, now point your toe in. Point your toe in. Point it in. Give me 3 circles there. Oh, and then 3 circles the opposite direction. Okay. All right, and then we got one more. Point your foot out. Give me 3 circles. I mean, I'm talking really pretty circles. Are you cutting off a whole part of the circle? Is your leg moving? Your leg should be still. This is all in the ankles. Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay, a little humbling. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the other one. All right, foot is in neutral, all right? All right, let's go ahead and give me 3 circles. 1, you're clicking, popping. And then let's go back the other direction. Is that really a circle? Are you ratchety? Are you slipping through one whole part of it? The slower you go, the harder it is. Point that toe in now, all right? And give me some circles over here. Okay. Because your ankle needs to be able to react in all different positions. So the more flexible your ankles, the better. They're the first joint that comes in contact with that uneven surface. You have to work your ankles. And then go ahead and point your toe out. Point the toe out and give me 3 circles out there in each direction. Really pointing and then flexing on that. So you're really doing the big, big circles. And then go back your opposite direction. Keep the legs still. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so that didn't take very long, right? And that has huge benefits. Huge benefits. Where could you do those? How could you work that into your daily routine?
Watching TV.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what are you going to do? You have a new homework thing. Now you're going to do neutral, toes in, toes out. Do them 1 at a time. Do them 2 at a time. Have a good time. Right? Sit in that lengthened spine, too. Up with the back, drop the chin slightly down. Remember, drop it down slightly. Get that horizon level. That's what your eyes are focused on. And drop it back. Whoops, sorry. All right, so knee raises, so seated knee raises. So we're just gonna lift the knee up. So when we're walking, don't pick up your feet, pick up your knees. Pick up your knee. Because people go, pick up your toes, pick up your toes. What you really need to think about is picking up your knee, because the knee bone's connected to the ankle bone, connected to the toe bone. All right. Yeah, so these are good. These are also can get you, you can put, how could you make these harder? Put some weights on them. Right? Okay. All right, boy, I need to get back to teaching these classes. Okay. All right, let's see. So that's still our warm-up routine. How we doing on time, dear? We good? Huh? Okay, doing super. All right, excellent. All right, now this is where I like to have some fun. Okay, because there's parts of your brain that really benefit from hand movement and foot movement. All right, so we have billions of little bones and things in our hands and our feet. And the more that we can move them, the more that you're activating a very important component of your brain stem, all right, called your PMRF. All right, so this is what we're going to do, rise and fall. So we're going to bring them down and then come up and then down. Okay, so bend the hands up and then heel of the palm down, wrist way up, heel of the palm, boom, all right? All right, so now we're going to start painting, so we're going to do one. Moving the wrist, so the wrist is going up. Chew gum. Okay, chew gum right now. Okay, let's do them both together. Up and then down. Okay, and up. So really getting to know your wrist. Rub the wrist before you do anything. Rub the body part before you move it. So, rub it a little bit. Now, we just did these like this. Can you do them like this? So up and then down. Okay, up. Yep, and then down. So the heel of your palm up and then the wrist down. Okay? Again, when you have to stick that wrist out there, you want it to be flexible. So it should be used to working in all these different directions. So how about we do it, like so you're swimming. Think about bringing those wrists. Bring the wrists together and then palms out. So just really getting those going. All right, so I like those. Okay, now can we do some wrist circles? You want to do some wrist circles? Again, the more we move the ankles and the wrist, the more feel-good juices that are really getting out there. And if you have arthritis, it's a great way to kind of wake them up. So I want you to knuckle up. I want you to knuckle up. I want to see knuckles. All right, and give me some wrist circles. Now I want you to exaggerate the circles where you're going pointing that wrist all the way down to the ground, like that, remember? And then all the way up. So we're going down. Really exaggerate that. And if it's hard for you to do, you can do one at a time. You can hold one. Make sure that you're just getting that wrist. And then remember, 3 in one direction. What do we do? 3 in the opposite. Go 3 to the right. You got to go 3 to the left. All right, and that's a really good way to loosen up those wrists. Now, finger spread. All right, so you're like this. Spread them apart. Put them back together. Spread the hands apart. Fingers apart. Back together, and one more time, spread them apart, and then back together. Okay, now, keep the fingers together, just spread the pinky out, and then back together. Just the pinky out. Just the pinky. So you instead of spreading them all, we're just going to spread the pinky. Okay, now, the pinky and the ring finger. Oh. Sometimes, remember, you might have to rub it. Come on, wake up. I'm talking to you. Right? Spread it and then come on back in. Good job. I did this the other. And then we'll just do the one. So then the 3 fingers out. Okay. All right. Okay. And then the thumb. All right. And then again, all of them, spread them out. See, it's like a workout. It's a great workout that you're getting for your fingers. Spread them out wide. Bring them back in, out, and then in. Okay, so those are finger spreads. Because I like you guys and we have a little bit extra time, we're going to do another one of my very favorites. So we did this, all right? So I'm going to teach you, we're going to do just the fingers now. All right, so we did the wrists, okay, where you're doing the wrist moves the whole hand. Now we're going to do each finger. So I want you to start with the pointers, and you're digging it out and pulling it back. Digging it out. Bend it, pop it up there. Pop it up there. Now, pointer finger, scoop it down and out. Scoop it down and out. Yep, good, good, all right. Now we're gonna do the same thing, middle fingers. Okay, we'll scoop it down and up. Bend, so you bend it all the way down to the ground and then scoop it up and out. Yep, bend it down, scoop it up and out. One more time. All right, now, middle fingers, you're gonna pull it down, bring it back. Just the middle finger, not the other ones, not the side buddies, just the middle finger. So we're trying to isolate. You teach your brain how to work a body part in isolation. It goes, oh yeah, I remember that part. All right, now let's get the ring fingers. Let's get the ring fingers. So can you bend them all the way down and then bring them up? Just the ring finger, I know. Okay, and then come on, scoop it down. So remember, you go up and then you come down. There's no way to do it wrong. Just do it. You got to get these fingers moving. All right, and then we're gonna do pinkies. So I don't know if I can't keep that. my pinky finger's connected to my ring finger for some reason, right? Okay, and then we'll scoop it out the other way. All right. Now you're feeling like you have a little bit of a hand workout. Let's do them all together now. Okay. All the fingers down, bend them back, high. Reach forward, bend, high. Reach forward, bing. Down. Sound effects are optional. Bing. Bing. Okay, now we're going to scoop down and up. Bend them up here. So you bend, you melt down, and then you go out. Melt them down. Good. Really bend that wrist. Really, yeah. Dig down. And guess what? What you do to the hands, you can do to your feet. But I'm not going to have you do that right now. Take shoes off and do the same things. Dig it down in the sand. It feels wonderful. All right, so now let's go ahead and do this. Put your hands on your wrist, point your fingers, elbows forward. All right, give me some circles. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do big circles. Okay, try to point as far forward as you can, and then pause. Go back the opposite direction. What's that? Opposite direction. Okay, now you're gonna pause. Now we'll go back the original direction, tiny circles. Just really tiny. And remember, to make things even more challenging for your brain, slow them down like a 5-second circle. Anything you can do fast, you can try slow. It's very hard. And then go back your opposite direction a little bit. Got a sore shoulder? Absolutely. If you have a sore shoulder, go ahead and give me some shoulder rolls again. Huh? A bone on bone, yeah. Rub your shoulders and get moving a little bit. All right, so head turns, nods, and tilts. I love these. Why? Because these activate your vestibular system. So this wakes up your neural balance system. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to sit tall, lengthen that spine. All right? Raise up, drop the chin, tuck it back. Okay, let's turn your head to the right. And when you do, I want you to find a vertical target. From now on, you can start looking for vertical targets. You're not looking at the ground. You're looking at a vertical target. Okay? Come back into center. Vertical target. Let's go to the left. Okay. Come back into center. So when we turn, it's just our head, not the whole upper body. Because remember, belly button over the feet. You want to be able to turn your neck as far as possible, especially if we're still driving. So lengthen that spine, drop it down to the right. Vertical target, center, left, center. Let's go to the right. Can you go a little bit further? Go all the way through to the left. All the way through to the right. And left. And each time you're looking at a different vertical target. But if you ever do get dizzy, make sure that you're paying attention to what you're looking at. Because a lot of times we just turn our head and we're not paying any attention to anything in between. Or when we get there. So find a vertical target. Orient your body to true vertical. It helps you stand up taller. Okay? When you're walking, walk towards a vertical target. All right? Oh, but I got to look at the ground. You can scan the ground in front of you. All right? Okay, so now we're going to do nods. All right? So I want you to find an object and kind of right about eye level. I want you to stare at it, lengthen that spine. You're going to tilt your head back. Keep your eye on the target that's in front of you. So your eyes come, and then come back to center. Let's do 2 more going straight back. Back, nose up, come back to center, and then up, and then come back to center. All right? Now we're going to drop the nose down. So down, and 2, and then 3. Okay? And then I like to do things gradually, but then, you know, we can get going and really activate your vestibular system, but I don't want people walking out of here like you might be walking straight as an arrow. I mean, a lot of people just activating this really, really helps them. And when you activate the vestibular system, everything feels better. All right, so we're going to sit nice and tall. Now we're going to do head tilts. All right, so you're going to tilt your head. Now I want you to drop the ear to the shoulder. Okay, feel a nice stretch on the other side. Okay. Come back into center. And try to focus on something ahead of you, right about eye level. Is that object staying clear when you tilt your head to the right? Come back into center. Tilt it to the left. Is that object staying clear or does it get dizzy? Because your inner ear and your eyes work together very, very intricately. So the object is to keep things clear. But sometimes when we tilt our head this way, it might get dizzy. This side might need more activation. All right? So you're just tilting. All right. Now what I want you to do is I want you to make an imaginary window. You're sitting nice and tall. Tuck that head back in that window. Eye sockets behind the collarbone. All right, now stick your head out the window. Then back in. So the only thing moving is the neck, no shoulders. So slide it out, slide it back in. Keep it down. Very nice when you come back. A lot of people will do this and then come back and do that. We don't want to do that. So we go in and then out. In and out. So again, this takes some movement, but don't tilt back. Just forward and then straight back, just like that. All right, so this is, all right, last one. I want you to pretend your nose is a pencil, and you're going to draw a figure 8. You're going to draw an infinity figure 8 for me. Now, you're going to hear so much creaking and popping and cracking. That's called crepitus, and all that is joints, air or gases in your joints. I don't know, but that's what it is. Okay, and it sounds bad, but if it hurts, don't worry about it. It's that crepitus. So just, you'll do what? You're going to do 3 in one direction, and you're going to pause. You're going to go 3 back in the other direction. And you can make them really loopy, or if you're feeling like this is making you dizzy, don't do it. All right? So here's what we do. If it's making you dizzy, don't do it. All right? But it's a really good way to activate your vestibular system. One last thing, okay? I got to slip this one in here. This is not in the matter balance, but I love doing this. All right, so scoot to the edge of your chair and extend whichever leg you want. Extend it out there. Put the your hand on your bent knee, and I just want you to reach down and see about how far you can go. Don't push it, but go, oh, God, I haven't touched my toes in 10 years. Okay? All right. And see how easy that is for you to do, how far you can go. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to sit in lengthened spine because your body's going to get good at whatever you do exactly how you do it. So if you want to get good at good posture, you do things in good posture. You're going to put your hand up here and you're going to draw a circle. Your head is going to stay still. So put your hand on your chin and it's just your eyes. And your eyes are going to follow the thumb and you're going to go 3 circles in one direction, keeping your eyes on the thumb the entire time. Okay, eyes on the thumb, not on me. And then pause and then go back your other direction. 3 times. Make sure you're going below the chin and above the forehead because eyes up have huge benefits. Huge benefits. Okay? Excellent. All right? Everybody okay with that? Reach down. See how far you can go this time. See if you can get any further. Get further. All right? Yeah, so you can wrap it down there. So that is just showing you that your eyes have muscles and they need to move too. All right? And when your brain feels safe, can predict things, you can move better. Okay. So, okay. We did our head turns, tilts, nods, juts. do their juts, okay? Give yourself a giant bear hug, so arms out, give yourself a hug, wrap your arms around you. Yay, did so good. Pat yourself on the back, rub those shoulder blades. Okay, all right. Now, I really would feel like I hadn't done my job if I didn't have you guys do some chair stands. Because I did say that your legs are your fall prevention muscles, okay? So we have to be able to get up out of the chair. So, do you have my phone? I'll get my phone out here. So 30 seconds, you're gonna stand up and then sit down. Stand up and then sit down. Okay, now hold on a second. You did that a couple times. Go ahead, do one or two more.
You start a quarter of the way up, and then you go to half the way up, and then you go all the way up.
Okay, so you see how those feel, right? Okay, they were, Here's what I want you to do. What's his name?
Len.
Len?
He's taking a balance class now at PT.
Don't keep doing them. You got to go do some more. So now what I want you to do is I want you to put your tongue on your roof of your mouth, like Len said, and I want you to look up. So I don't want you to look at the ceiling right up here. I want you to look up there where the wall and the ceiling meet there. Cross your arms and stand up and then sit down. Tell me if it's any easier. Eyes up. So when you stand up, I want your eyes up. So go ahead, sit down. Keep your eyes up when you stand up. Because where do we usually look? Down. We're looking at the floor. You are defeating your purpose when you do that. So eyes up activates extensors in the brain. Extensors in the brain help you stand up. Okay? So don't look down, look up. Look, eyes up to stand up. Look, she's gonna keep on going. She's a machine now, look at that. She's just going. Eyes up to stand up. So what I want you to do, I'm not gonna time you, I was gonna time you. Pick a number, try to do 10. If 10 knocks you out, try to do 9. But do those every day. Every day, pick a number. Where the last one is like, ooh, that's pretty tough. No longer than 30 seconds. You're not working any more than 30 seconds. Stand up, sit down. Count how many you can do in 30 seconds. Every day. Every day. That's all you got to do. That's it. And that's going to help keep those legs strong. Okay. So if they want to host a class here, we need it to be able to fit 14 to 16 people. Or if you know another location that might be interested in having a class, again, we are really trying to promote this program and get people out and about. Non-rolling chairs, large tables, and restrooms. Okay. Anybody can be in this program if they're over 60. If you've fallen, if you're afraid of falling, that's really the key thing. Or concerned about it. Or if you just you want to learn how to make some, this is a good entry-level program. And then no cognitive impairment. You need to be able to make decisions for yourself, okay? And ability to stand also helps. So for more information, could you get the flyers? If you want flyers, there's brochures out there for the Matter of Balance. My name and information is on the back of that. Hopefully we'll be able to do some here or locally. The Department of Health is we're really motivated to get them out there. I know we're going to try to get into Sarasota Memorial Hospital and do a class there in January, or I think that one's March. But anyway, it's on the agenda. So again, I can't say all falls can be prevented. I forget who told me that in my master's studies, but that is a legality that I cannot say. Because I don't want you to think that this is a cure-all. I want you to know that you can reduce the risk of a fall. And the more of those fall risk factors that you address, the safer you'll be. Okay? Picking up the rugs, getting up the clutter, using your walker when you need to, doing your chair stands, getting your vision checked. Okay? So does anybody have any questions for me?
Hold on just a second. We need to use the mic just so we can catch your question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was wondering, I live in an over 55 park, and I was wondering, are you available to do this there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you my card.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions for Kelly? I'm curious, how many people, if we did hold that 8-session class here, would come here and would be interested in that? Because it looks like we'd need 16. So,
Well, we at least, we have to have 12. 8 to 12 is ideal. I like to pack it with 15 in case people drop out.
okay, we will look at that
Yeah.
to see if we can get
Oh,
enough
look at these
interest.
two. Oh, they're coming. Yes, yes, my ladies up here. They're coming. Yes, yes. So again, the fear of falling, obviously nobody here is that afraid of it because you're out and about in slick weather, and I do appreciate you doing that. But you might know somebody or neighbor who really you're concerned about. They haven't come out in a while. Because if it's not you, I'm sure you know somebody that has been affected by a fall or is just terrified of it. And there is hope for it. We can really just restructure the way that we're thinking about things and learn how to be stronger and have fun while you're doing it, right? Yeah, yeah. Lengthen your spine.
Can we thank Kelly for her time today?